If I can have your attention here in the Media Center, we will go ahead and start our pre-race media availability for Sunday's Hollywood Casino 400 in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. We're joined by Matt Kenseth, driver of the number 20 DeWalt FlexVolt Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Matt, pretty darn good at this racetrack, 2 wins, 3 poles, 13 top 10s. What has made you so good at this racetrack, particularly recently?
Well, probably the same things that made me so bad last time we were here, just fast race cars. I think after they paved it, we had a couple of years there where we just had really fast cars, and then kind of things went right in the race, and we were able to capitalize on that. So, as good as your last race, our last one here, we ran really, really bad. So looking forward to getting on a track today and hopefully redeeming ourselves this weekend.
Okay, we'll open the floor up for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll go to Holly, then to Claire, and then to Bob.
Holly K, NASCAR.com. Matt, having said that, I would assume, however, looking at your statistics, that this is a good place that you feel like to come in and have to race, to be in the position you are and have to race yourself in. And secondly, if you could address driving school buses.
Yeah, I mean, there's only, I guess, 5 races left, last race of the round. We're kind of running out of races this year. Obviously, winning's been important to us, and we haven't been able to do that in about a year and a half. So, with all that being said, if we can't, run good here, we're probably not going to run good anywhere the rest of the year, even though Martinsville is very unique, and I always feel pretty good going there. But this has always been, like you say, kind of, I feel like one of my better racetracks from a driver's standpoint. It's a pretty basic racetrack, 1.5 miles. Still not very bumpy. There's multiple banking, but, your intermediate stuff, if it's ever going to run good, it should run good here. So hopefully we can make it run good.
We'll go to
school. No progress in the school bus job yet. That was 95% a joke.
We'll go to Claire, then to Bob, then to Dominic.
Maybe. Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Talking about the characteristic of this track, other than the fact that it's a cutoff race, and I know you race hard every single race, what is the characteristic of this track that makes it, we've had such crazy things happen here over the years. Is there anything beyond the fact that it's the cutoff race, it's in the playoffs, that makes it so?
Well, I mean, I think every situation and every trip here is probably a little different. I think after they paved it, like a typical repave, you got to come with a very hard tire, and it's very air dependent. And I know there was a lot of crashes here. The cars were real edgy. I think that out of all the repaves we went to, this is by far the best one since I've been around. So they did it was a great track before they paved it, and I think, like everybody else, we're all afraid of ruining it. And it's really good with the three grooves and 3 different bankings, and it widened out faster than any repave I've ever seen. So it's a great racetrack. It's always really racy, a lot of options out there to try to find somewhere to pass. Real, still pretty smooth and fast. So, it's a racy racetrack. It's good.
Go to Bob, Dominic, Jerry, and the postman.
Bob Hawkers, ESPN. Do you feel good about your chances to advance, or do you feel like you weren't very good here in May and it's going to be an uphill battle?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I could probably give you a better answer after all the practices are done tomorrow and kind of have a good idea where you're at. Last time we were here, we ran bad from the second we unloaded until we were done with the weekend. So I'm optimistic that we'll unload with decent speed today, and it'll drive decent. We'll get it driving good tomorrow, I hope. So Charlotte was a struggle. Never got to drive good the whole weekend. Didn't run very well. And Talladega. So hopefully we go this weekend and perform well. Obviously we had, 8 months to collect stage points and bonus points and get wins and do all that. And even though we finished last weekend, we're still, out of the next round so far, because of all the bonus points and stuff that we did not collect. So we got to go there and have a solid run, obviously, to get to the next round. And like I say, if we don't run good Sunday, then we don't deserve to be in the next round anyway. So it's a great racetrack. It's one I really like. And hopefully we can hit it right this weekend. And as a group, we can all execute, perform at a high level like we're capable of doing, and, move on to next week.
Go next to Dominic.
Dominic Ottergone with the RacingExperts.com and ESPN Radio Albuquerque. Being a playoff elimination race, how much has that been on your mind, I guess, the last few days and in the hours leading up to this race weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been a lot, really. I mean, there's, you know, like I said, you have all year to collect all those points, which we didn't do a very good job of getting very many. You know, and then I think that, I know Talladega is very unique, but, you know, all three races are equally as important, really. I mean, if you look at Martin and Brad, they got their wins the first 2 weeks, so then this week doesn't really matter. I mean, it still does. You want to collect, you know, bonus points and all them things, playoff points, whatever. You know, but each race is equally as important. So, I mean, they always, I guess, you know, feel more important the way everybody looks at them when it's actually a cutoff race, because you don't have next week if you don't perform well in this race. I mean, you do, but not as live for trying to run for a championship. So, but to me, it's just another weekend, another opportunity to go out and try to win and try to get this ship turned around a little bit.
Go to Jerry, then to Steve, and then back to Holly.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and PRN. Matt, last time you were P1 in the media center, you had big news for us on your future. Do you have any news for us now on your future going into next year?
Nah, just you know, hour from now we're ready to hit the racetrack. Try to get running. You know, good this weekend. So nothing beyond right now. I feel like we got a lot to do yet in 2017. Not really. Still kind of in the same spot. Not really worried that much about next year. Really have anything I want to talk about?
Steve Post, Motor Racing Network. Matt, as stages unfold, as the race unfolds on Sunday, are you a driver that kind of wants to know what's going on with those around you or not? How does that work internally with your team? I mean, they've got obviously computer systems and everything. They're monitoring it well. How do you like to manage that, knowing it's a moving target stage by stage, sometimes lap by lap, actually?
Yeah, I don't really want to know anything unless there's something I can do about it. I mean, if it's the last lap and there's somebody 2 feet in front of you, then obviously you want to know you need that spot, you know, kind of like, you know, Newman at Phoenix that year type of thing. You know you need one spot or something you can do about it. But other than that, I don't want to know. I don't want to add any more to their plate than what they already have to figure out race strategy and adjustments and trying to capitalize on every stage and get as many points as we can. So I think you just go out with the idea of trying to, you know, sit in a pole, win all the stages, and win the race, then you know you're in for sure. Other than that, I guess when it gets down to the end, when it's all over, you know, you want to know, obviously, whether you're in or not. And if there's something you can do about it different, but, man, you're racing as hard as you can to try to keep your car in position the whole races right now. So if there's nothing I can do about it, I don't really want to know.
Holly?
One last thing, Matt. It's interesting. I mean, there's 3 former champions, yourself and Jimmy and Kyle Busch, that are kind of all on that, you know, cutoff line right there. Could you just talk about that? I mean, the competition's pretty serious there with you all.
Yeah, I got to be totally honest with you. You're not going to believe me probably, but I haven't looked at the points. I haven't even looked at them. I have no idea, besides the 2 guys that won races, really where anybody is. I actually, at the time in Talladega, when I watched everybody crash and not many green spoilers left out there, I figured we were going to be in halfway decent shape, and then somebody told me we were still like, I don't know, 8 or 10 out or something like that. So other than that, I have not looked at it, to be honest with you. I realized we didn't get any stage points last weekend, and a lot of guys did, and didn't get many stage points at Charlotte. So, you know, there's just, you think about it, in the stages is half the points that you get for the race. I mean, it's a lot, and it's a ton of points. So, and I realize we haven't really got a lot of them. So, you know, I haven't really looked at it. I know we need to, been saying all year, we got to perform better than we have been, and finish better than we have been if we expect to be a contender down the stretch anyway. So hopefully this is a weekend for us. Hopefully we can have a breakout, get qualified good, lead some laps, and get a finish.
Yeah, Kevin, Matt, Randy Kokitz, Kansas City Star and USA Today. Follow up on that question, the fact that you and Jimmy and Kyle are kind of in peril, and even Kevin, you know, would help him to win. He doesn't totally need one, but what does that say about this series right now and the competition that 4 champions are kind of on the brink?
Well, I mean, I think the sport has always been a, you know, what have you done for me lately, sport? You're only as good as your last race. But if I'm Kyle, I'm feeling pretty good, man. He's crashed 2 weeks in a row, and he's still in. I think he's still in. So I mean, that's pretty amazing. You know, so, and plus he's been running so good. It's one of his better places now. So I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be very concerned if I was Kyle, I guess, because, you know, he's had the performance now. 48 hasn't run quite as good as he's accustomed to running. We haven't run as good as we're accustomed to running. So, you know, we're probably, you know, assuming they're close to us in points. Like I said, I haven't even looked at it. I'm taking your guys' word for it. The guys who aren't running quite as good and haven't been winning are obviously probably more concerned about it than the guys that, you know, have the wins and have the performance every week and been sitting on poles and leading laps and winning stages and that type of thing.
Bob?
Bob Pockris, ESPN. I mean, obviously there's two ways to advance, win or get in on points. Do you feel like you have a decent chance to win, or have you guys not knocked on the door enough to feel like that's a likelihood?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I feel like I come to the racetrack every week with a chance to win, but with that being said, it's been a year and a half since we won. It's probably, I don't know if it's my longest winless streak or not, but it feels like it is, or close to it. I'm almost sure I've never went 2 years without winning a race, so it's been it's been a long time. So when you look at it like that, you're like, you know, show me, you know. So we haven't been able to do it yet. So I hope to at least get a win before the year's over. We got 5 chances left. We got some great racetracks coming up. We just got to get our cars around a little bit better, and then we just, as a group, every single one of us has to execute better, you know, and that starts with me. So, you know, I know we're more than capable, but, you know, we got to do it.
Any additional questions for Matt? Well, Matt, good luck this week.
Thank you.